Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the XP Podcast Level 20. My name's Rob, and I'm joined with my co-hosts, Adam and Austin. How you guys doing?
Good. Doing
Good. Is that
great.
I feel like you don't normally intro us that way, so I'm like, did he
I
intro
know.
us that way
Yeah.
normally?
At
Does
the
he normally
same
give a
time,
pause?
who talks
Yeah,
first?
I talk first, you talk
I
first?
thought
I talk
I talk
first?
first.
I thought I'd switch it up
That's
just a
good.
bit so that way we can we get just get right into it.
Keep
Just
us
get
on our
just
feet.
get right. Awesome.
Sure.
We're
Sure,
really
sure,
glad to
sure.
have you back. You were not with us on the last episode, so it's awesome to have you
It
back
wasn't.
here again. And before we kind of get into the rigmarole, I want to thank everybody who watched the previous podcast. It is at 128 views. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. That makes me extremely happy, and I'm pretty sure it makes all the guys on here happy as well. It is awesome that you guys are watching it, and I hope
It
that you guys
does.
continue to push them and share them so that way people can find the content and actually enjoy it as well. So, without further ado, before we get into the rest of the show, I want to let you guys know this is the XP Podcast, an ambitious casual video game podcast where we talk about all things video games. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas, you can send them our way either on the comments of this video, or if you're listening on a podcast service, well, you can tweet at us at ambitious casual or email us at xppodcast@ambitiouscasual.com, and then utilize the timestamps, because that way you could jump around to the areas that you really want to get right into, because sometimes we don't all have all the time in the world. But I'm just gonna let you know, you skip anything, you're really jumping out of some really good content, really good content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The email on here throws me off. I need to change it. I always have the press play email from my other podcast. It throws me off every
Oh.
single time, dude. So, anyways, XP Podcast at ambitiouscasual.com. Getting right into it, we have some reader mail, and I want to start it off. This is from Mr. Irrelevant. This is his second time writing in, and he's also rated us on the podcast service of his choice, which you can also do. So make sure you all go do that so that way people can find the podcast when they search it up quicker. Mr. Relevant writes, gentlemen, so aliens are invading and the fate of the world depends on your three recommendations of the best title series of games the Earth has to offer for the aliens to play. If they like it, we're safe. For example, Elder Scrolls series or Assassin's Creed. You may be tempted to throw out Mario or Legend of Zelda, but this is all inclusive. One done in the series and its full Independence Day. Feel free to specify series within those big names like Paper Mario instead of all of Mario. P.S. I would highly recommend not going with Galaga. Might give the wrong impression. Your friend, Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant, thank you very much for that. Right in. Okay, so I'm based on how this looks. It looks like us three need to we need to pick one of a joint mix of three to kind of present to them. I don't think we all pick three. That's how I'm reading it.
Okay.
So when it comes to
Okay.
what is and with this question, it's not even a matter of what's the best game out there, because
Yeah.
they might not like it, So we don't want to give them Destroy All Humans, and then that's the guidebook on how they take us over.
But maybe that satisfies their need to exterminate us, and they're like, we don't even need to destroy you because we have
That is
this
a very
game
good point.
that,
Oh,
total simulation,
That's-
outlet all those destructive feelings.
That is a really good point, dude. How many how many Destroy All Humans are there in the series? Destroy All Humans.
Oh,
I think there's two.
Like
There's
two?
two of them.
and then they remade it or
Yeah,
brought it back
they just
recently
remade
or
it.
yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
if we had to pick three, the examples that he gives are like the Elder Scrolls series or Assassin's Creed, and he said you might be
Sure.
tempted to throw out Mario or Legend of Zelda. So, and he also said get
Yeah.
as specific as possible. So not be like Mario, we can be like Paper Mario. So I'm thinking the goal here is to make sure that they're so distracted by these awesome
Yeah, they're
games
entertained.
that they do not want to take us over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure right now on us three on this
yeah,
podcast.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say it.
I didn't watch.
This is
Go for it.
This is very much a show me what you got moment.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
okay.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't get that reference, Adam. I'm sorry.
It's for all the Rick and Morty fans out there.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it Yes, it is.
Wow, we just lost 30 listeners because of my comment.
I'll just edit that out. Okay, so when it
Yeah,
comes to a
yeah,
game,
yeah.
here's what I say. I think we give them which one is the hardest Dark Souls game because we need to get them stuck in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to be
Ooh.
playing this game for a long time. So, like
Mm.
if they had the ability to be so angry enough to just kill us all, they would have the ability to be so frustrated they have to beat this game.
But he said if they like it, we are safe.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a
What
good
if they what
That's a
if,
good
you know, like
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. How are we supposed to judge the video game tastes of a completely different species?
I
You know,
know.
we'll be like God of War 2018, and they're like, "This is toilet water. You
I
dead."
have listen, I have a proposition. I've been thinking about
Let me
this
hear.
all day. Um, really affected my
Yes.
workflow at
As
work
yes.
today because this question just was bouncing around in my
Uh-huh.
head. I think and the way I want to
Okay.
approach it is I think one of the games needs to be just a fun game in its purest form. The function of the game in itself is incredible. And the game that came to my
Mhm.
mind was Rocket League
Ooh.
because Rocket League is so simple, yet it is something that you can always be entertained by and something you can always improve by. It is easy to start, but it is difficult to fully master. And
Hmm.
I think Rocket League is just universally known as just this incredible game because of the core function of it. You're an you're a car trying to hit a ball into
Uh-huh.
a goal, and I think the aliens would dig
But
that because that's a
here's my thing though, Austin.
that.
What if they get
Oh
clowned, dude?
gosh,
What if they get clowned? You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay,
Yeah,
so
like what
so
if
clown.
they
here's the
just
thing.
get beat
The
over and over and
aliens
over again?
the
That's
aliens probably have their own game servers that they're working with,
that's
okay?
true.
Like they're likely just playing against each other. It's a good old fun time. And this is probably a good segue into what I was thinking. I
Okay.
would actually offer up League of Legends, okay?
Ooh.
Because it
Okay.
is more of a medium. I personally think technically it's a great game, but the thing is they're going to get so obsessed with
Mm.
climbing the rank ladder, and they're going to be, like I said, their own servers. So they're only playing with each other, but they're going to start rage quitting on each other and getting mad at each other. They forget all about us, and then they realize that
Mm.
their true enemy is themselves. Alien Civil War. They don't have time to worry about us.
Wow.
Here's my
Wow.
thought. Okay, so far we have Rocket League, we have League of Legends. Okay, here's my thought. Give them a game that technically they can't lose. So I say we invest. I think we all pitch in $150. We get them an HTC Vive, okay? And then we give them Beat Saber. They cannot lose in Beat Saber.
Mm.
So give hand
Wait,
this over to
you
what's
wait.
up?
What do you mean they can't lose in Beat
Because
Saber? They can lose the
I
song
mean,
if you miss too
look,
many
Austin,
beats.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Austin.
It's like
If you
Guitar
lose that
Hero.
Beat Saber, I don't think they're capable of taking us over, to be quite honest. So
That's true.
I think it'd be perfect to put them in another
Look,
world. Okay, put them in a VR headset and then just have them start grooving to
Ooh.
some beats. I know they just announced that Billie Eilish can be put on Beat Saber, so I can tell you right now they're gonna be banging
Oh,
to some Billie Eilish on Beat Saber.
some bad guy.
Exactly, exactly, bad guy.
All right, good.
Uh, so far, I'm not quite sure these are good.
How do
I don't know if these are good ones.
how do we feel about this three?
hey,
I don't know,
hey.
man.
I feel
I
great
feel
about
pretty
my
good.
pick.
I feel good about mine. I did think of one other
Let me hear
one,
it. Let me hear it.
and and you know what it is,
Oh
Rob
my god.
and Adam. Maybe listen. I think in order for them to really empathize and understand human nature, I think they need to play through Red Dead 2 because they can really learn some really important lessons in our human culture, and they can be like, you know what, this is a planet that actually is there's so much more to this place than just living organisms. Like this made me feel something. I don't know, it might do like the empathy thing, you know what I
I
mean? So that could
I can
work.
picture I can picture a dolly shot like closely getting like going like zooming in on the back of an alien playing Red Dead, and then you just hear Arthur Morgan's voice coming from the screen, just just shining on their face.
That's a
That's a
good
good
boy.
boy.
Good boy.
Oh
Ano-
man, we have to stay away from story-based stuff. There's no guarantee they're going to be able to
Okay, you're
empathize with
right.
any story
You
we
know,
put out there.
It's all about
another
function.
another,
It's all
another
about
idea is
function.
No
You're right.
Man's Sky. Now, I understand that they are extraterrestrial beings that are able to go jump from planet to planet, but they have not experienced um what's the word? Randomly generated worlds. So allow them the ability. We're
Mhm.
gonna go back again to VR. Give them another VR headset. Put them into
Okay.
the world of No Man's Sky, and they will forever be able to just fly around, go to other planets, wreak havoc if they want to wreak havoc, and get in dogfights if they want to get in dogfights. So that way they get all that negative energy out through the game. And while they are off of it, then they can play something like Rocket League or League of Legends, because those are good
Yeah.
options, because you know what
Good
can
mix.
break any heart of stone is friendship. And you can build friendship with League of Legends and Rocket League. I can tell you right now, it can do that, and it
Okay.
can also do the other thing. But I'm hoping for the first one on that one.
We don't have very much confidence in long-running series, I'll tell you that.
No.
Yeah. No, we don't.
The only thing is like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't know. I feel good about those three. It's a good mix. They complement each other. League of Legends is like definitely its own thing. Rocket League is its own thing. Like No Man's Sky, completely different. They have variety. Sounding good
Okay,
now.
you know what? I'm going to
But-
eliminate Beat Saber. I'm sorry. I thought the idea of looking at a alien playing Beat Saber would be pretty funny, but I think if we're being
Yeah,
serious, No Man's Sky is probably the better bet. Now, I want to say
Okay.
sorry to all the listeners out there. If you're kind of upset that they're like, why did you not put anything like Mario or Call of Duty or anything like that? We're sorry. We're trying to be real here. I think give them a sports game.
Yeah.
Give them an online game where it's competitive. We might see them hit up the
Yeah.
esports league, and then give them a
They'd wreck.
VR game, No Man's Sky, and they'll be fully engrossed into a completely another world. They won't worry about us at all. I'm very confident in this.
I think
Very
that's
confident in
it.
this, guys. We saved the world. We
You're
saved the world.
welcome. You're welcome, humanity. You're
Exactly.
welcome. Now subscribe and like and follow.
Yeah, for real, right? All right, moving on to the topic of the show, guys. I'm going to start off with some of the news that is probably the later news, the furthest away news from the moment that we're recording, because I want to just go back and then move our way forward. But it is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. On the last episode, Adam and we kind of talked about the entire direct as a whole that Nintendo had. Great direct. Go back and watch that video if you guys haven't seen it yet. And on that direct, they announced a direct. In the direct, they announced a direct for Smash Brothers and the final fighter that we will be getting. It was announced that Kingdom Hearts Sora will be coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the final fighter for the franchise, for Ultimate as a whole. Masahiro Sakurai,
Yes.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Director, announced the 82nd and final fighter for the series, that being Kingdom Hearts' very own Sora. Adam, I want to know your top level thoughts. Are you excited at the fact that Sora is the last fighter? Were you hoping it was somebody else? Are you surprised that it's Sora? What are your thoughts?
I think I'm overall positive about it. I realized as I was thinking about this and thinking about basically all of Fighters Pass Volume 2, and I really haven't been excited about many of the characters that have come out during Fighters Pass 2. And I think it actually mostly has to do with the pandemic.
Okay.
All of the first volume came out before the pandemic started. And for me, Smash is really a game I play with friends in person. And so I think that really kind of correlates to my interest in Smash and the DLC characters
Right.
overall. But that being said, I love Sora. I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. I think he'll probably make a really good fighter in the game. And I think that's exciting to include him in the game. Obviously, there's a little bit of overlap with Disney in terms of the licensing, and so I'm sure it wasn't easy. As I think he mentioned in the direct, Sakurai was saying that they were told whenever they did the Wii U 3DS Smash game that's, they kind of put a questionnaire out to all the
Yes.
fans about who they wanted to see, and Sora was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most requested character.
yeah.
So I think it's really cool that they were pull it off. Knowing that context, I think it really wraps the bow on the Smash Ultimate Fighter list, and I think it's good. I don't know if I'll get a chance to play it, but maybe I will, and if I do, I'll keep people
Yeah.
updated. But it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Austin, what are
Yes.
your thoughts on
Yeah.
Sora entering Smash Bros as the final character?
So I was immediately brought back to when I watched my brother beat the first Kingdom Hearts
Nice.
game, and I kind of was like crying.
Nice.
And my brother was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." I got really
Yeah.
defensive because we didn't want to show our emotions because that means that you're weak. All right, and don't cry.
That's
Apparently, but
My
anyways,
friends are my strength.
my friends, Kairi, Riku.
I'll never give up.
I was really excited. I love Sora. He's one of my favorite characters in video games. I was really hoping so I didn't see the directs at first. I did watch it eventually, but I just heard that Sora was the final edition, and I was really hoping that they would give us different outfits from the different worlds you got to visit in the video
Yeah.
game. I was hoping for a Halloween Town outfit specifically, and so you could choose the different appearances. So I was a little disappointed to hear that wasn't the case, but they're still doing outfits from the different games, which obviously makes the most sense. But I was really overall just like super excited. I don't own a Switch. I don't own Smash. But I am a huge fan of the whole franchise. There's so many memories of Super Smash Brothers I have with my friends. And that was another Alien thing. I another one on my list was Super Smash Brothers Melee. I think
that's a very good point.
But anyways, I was really excited to hear about Sora. I think as far as his mechanics go, like I haven't played in so long, I don't know how they're gonna hold up against the rest, like in a competitive setting. Like I don't know if Sora is gonna be meta or anything like that, but I'm excited to see him in the game. He looks great. All the little details they showed like were exactly from the Kingdom Hearts games. How he moves, how he holds his Keyblade, all of his grunts and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see it. And eventually when I do get a Switch, that'll definitely be one of the games I download is Ultimate. And then I will definitely play as Sora. But it's exciting. It'd be cool.
Totally. I was extremely excited for the entire direct. I love Smash Bros. It like you guys say, I know for a lot of people, Smash Bros is that game that you play with your friends, and for me, particularly with my family, like that's just been me and my brothers. That's what we've always played. And so, when it came to the final fighter, I didn't think of Sora. I went in not expecting anything. My only thing was I expected them to do a second one on the same direct, and I thought they were going to do Waluigi, just because that's been the big meme.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be cool because that would show how much Nintendo listens in regards to social media. They're listening by giving Sora, because they did that poll a long time ago. But it would have been cool to see them give Waluigi. That would have been super dope. But when Sora got introduced, what's up? You were gonna say something?
I would bet that if it were Xbox making this game, we would have gotten Waluigi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know why? I think it's the reason why. The reason why is because Waluigi technically wasn't created by Nintendo. It was created by the studio that released like Mario Tennis or something. And he was created just to like sort of assist Wario, but he wasn't an actual like authentic Nintendo character, which is why they never actually made him a player. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah, I know.
I never knew about that. It's cool that Sora's in the game. I'm not a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I'll just be honest. I'm the
I
only
know
Kingdom
you're
Hearts
not.
game I've ever played is Birth by Sleep. I'm more of a Roxas guy myself, but it's I've read the manga because I thought the manga was cool. But when it came to the games, I'm like, I just can't deal with the game. Um, but it is cool. I will say his moveset, he looks pretty whack. Like he's gonna need some fine tuning. I can tell you that right now. Once that game is out after a while, because just everything that I'm seeing, I'm like, man, this guy can really move around this map, crazy. So
Yeah,
they'll do.
yeah.
I know they'll be tuning and that kind of thing to make sure everything works properly. But I am excited. I'm actually happy that so many people who love Kingdom Hearts actually get this character in there. The introduction video for
Yeah.
Sora was the dopest thing ever. Like
Mm.
Mario
That was
throwing the
awesome.
sword,
Yeah.
and then you see the Mickey keyblade, and then the keyhole opens up, and then he's floating out. It was hype all around. Like they
Oh,
know how to make a good
it was
trailer.
so good.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was a nice little farewell
Exactly.
It
thing
was
too, you
great.
know, in terms of Sakurai
Exactly.
being like, this is the last character. Like it's really cool to watch and like see him like, I don't know, putting his love letter out there, you know, in terms of his
Yeah.
craft and the thing he's been working on. So it's like
Yeah.
even if you didn't watch all the other like videos, it's like I would actually probably say go watch this one if you play Smash at all or like Kingdom Hearts at all. It's kind of cool to
Yeah.
hear
And,
about
and
it.
to totally give
Yeah.
Sakurai like his roses, dude. Like he really did a great job with with the Smash Bros. In regards to this one with Brawl. Like you can tell he loves this series. There's a photo that I saw of him when he was first working on Smash Brothers, and then up to where he's at now. I'm like, my guy, take 5 years off. Like you need to take a break. Like you can tell he loves this series that much, and he really cares
Mhm.
about how the characters feel and the music and the stages and their move sets and all that. Like he loves the
Yeah.
series, and I'm kind of hoping this is his last one. That's it. Hand it over to somebody else. Allow him to take a break, and then have him come back and actually do a different kind of game. Because I knew after Brawl he made Kid Icarus on the 3DS, and then he came back and did Ultimate. So I, Sakurai is one of the best developers out, like one of the best directors out there. He awesome job to him. But on the direct as well, we also got the announcement that the Kingdom Hearts series will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. The entire library, the whole thing. But there is one catch.
Yeah.
During the announcement of Sora being Smash Bros.' final fighter, Sakurai also announced that the Kingdom Hearts series will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but only as cloud games. Adam, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think they're like? I can imagine 3, but not the
Yeah.
previous ones. Why do you think that is?
Well, I agree with you that from a technical perspective, I'm sure 3 was probably the only one that had to be a cloud game to work and
Totally.
run well. But I imagine that, hey, we're already, you know, setting up. Well, I don't know how cloud stuff works well enough to say this, but it's like if they're already setting aside cloud services for running 3, it was actually probably just cheaper for them to port over the 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, whatever HD
Yeah.
remixes through the cloud service as well, rather than try to get them running natively on Switch. So it was
Yeah.
probably a much cheaper way to do it since they're already doing Kingdom Hearts 3 that way, would be my opinion. So it's like only a slight bummer for me personally. I already have a pretty good option of, you know, well, if I want to play Kingdom Hearts handheld and it's kind of dependent on Wi-Fi, then I might as well just play it on PlayStation where I'll get
Yeah.
trophies and then can pick up the all-in-one collection for like $20 on sale
Totally.
at some point, and
Yeah.
that's good for me. You know, this still does open up the Kingdom Hearts franchise to be played by people who only own Switches.
Yeah.
So that's still a net win. And honestly, you know, if cloud is the way that Nintendo needs to go to get third parties on their platforms consistently going forward, as we run to more, I guess, limitations in terms of hardware, let them figure it
Yeah.
out, let them improve it, let them get it running smoothly. So
Austin, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely make the argument, oh, they could have easily put the first 2 on there. But and I agree. I mean, I agree. They could have, but yeah, I think it was just to streamline the whole series. It would just be a little weird to download and have those two games on your hardware and then it just having one of them on the cloud. It makes sense. I've never played any cloud games on the Switch.
Same.
So I don't know. I can't say much because I know they're on there. There's a couple of big ones that are on there. So I don't know. I mean, it does suck that you kind of have to depend on your Wi-Fi, and you know, I guess if you're playing like docked, you could have the Ethernet cable plugged in. I mean, well, if you have the newer the OLED model, you could plug in the Ethernet cable. I guess you have to have the dongle for the older models, but yeah, and so like that'll work fine, I'm sure. But it does kind of suck that you're like, okay, my Wi-Fi is really bad. I can't play through this game, which is always the complaint for cloud gaming. Now, and that's me saying someone who almost primarily plays on cloud gaming, and I play on Stadia, and it 95% of the time it works well for me. So it just depends on the house, depends on the Wi-Fi, but yeah, I don't know. It makes sense. And if you don't have any other console, then like Adam said, go for it, get it. I'm sure it'll run great. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be fine. It is what it is. They need to do what they need to do. And it is exciting for the future. If they can really hone in cloud gaming on Nintendo, then we can, fill everyone's dreams of getting massive titles on that hybrid console system. Playing massive games handheld is like an experience that's unreal. Like me, like you already kind of experience it on, cloud-based services, like being able to open up Red Dead on my phone and play it. It's amazing. So if Nintendo can hone in on this, being able to play incredible games on their really cool hardware, it's exciting. So I hope it works out.
To wrap up the conversation in regards to Kingdom Hearts and the library on Switch, my only concern with this is the fact that, and I'm not saying it's a kid's game. I'm not saying that at all. When it comes to the game like Control that is on the Switch, but only through cloud, not many kids are going to be playing Control. Like that's mainly like teens to adults who are playing. And I think majority of the time when they do play, it could be majority of the time docked. When you think of kids playing on a Switch, I picture them fully and parents fully utilizing the fact that the Switch is a handheld console. And for a child to not be able to play Kingdom Hearts necessarily native on the console itself, and Wi-Fi can vary amongst so many people. Like I think there's a huge market that they're missing by doing that. Now, could it be you buy Kingdom Hearts, it's cloud? Okay, I can see them in the future being like, okay, we have now put Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 to be downloaded native on the Switch. Kingdom Hearts 3, unfortunately, is the only one that needs to be cloud. I can see that being something in the future that they do, and you don't have to pay for it again. That could be a possibility, but I don't see them doing that because I don't think they really care, to be quite honest. So,
yeah.
I think that younger audiences are used to working around network requirements. Like a lot of them playing Fortnite, stuff like that. Like they're not strangers to needing a internet connection for stuff.
Very good point. Very good point.
True.
Very good point. Going into the next topic, we're going to be going over some PlayStation. Let's shift our focus from Nintendo. Let's go on into PlayStation. Jade Raymond's new studio, Haven, is working on a game with social elements and user-generated content. This comes by way of gamesindustry.biz. I'm going to go through some pieces real quick of what they said in this article. All the links to the articles will be in the summary of the show notes. But here's what we got. Jade Raymond says, there are 3 things that are really exciting to me, which are also pillars for the way that we're thinking about things, she concludes. First is games as a social platform. The pandemic has proven that gameplay is the social glue that binds communities, especially for the younger audience or the younger generation. This is what you do and how you make friends and hang out. That is something that we really want to build and design for. The second thing is thinking about the, quote, remix generation. It started a little while ago. There is this age of self-expression where we're designing our Nike ID shoes. We're reading our friends' blogs rather than what our professional journalists are writing. And I think that has continued to go further with things like TikTok. That's another thing that we're thinking about at the heart of this IP. It is beyond user-generated content. It is about taking that self-expression and remix concept to the next level. And third thing that has been really inspiring to us is creating a new IP. Creating a new IP that is a world that can last for generations and becomes meaningful for people on a deeper level. But how do we create an IP that has that depth, but it is designed to be owned by the fans from the start? When we created Assassin's Creed, we were really thinking about creating an IP that can be owned by creative teams in the future. We thought if we created a framework of anything that takes place in the moment in history and has the assassins behind it, that will be consistent with the brand so teams can evolve that and own it. This is what she last says on the article. Now, what we're thinking about is creating an IP where it's not just professional teams, but it is designed to be owned by the fans and can evolve through that. End quote. That is the guys. Go check out that article from gamesindustry.biz. They have an entire conversation with Jade Raymond talking about so many other things other than her work on Haven Studios and her past. So check that out. Adam, I'm going to start with you. Social elements, user-generated content. Jade Raymond just got acquired by PlayStation and created a brand new studio, Haven Studios. She just came from Google Stadia and left due to the closure of so many studios over there. When it comes to games like this, the first ones I can think about in my mind are Roblox. And then another one I could think that is not as big whatsoever is Dreams from Media Molecule. So, Adam, what are your thoughts on everything that Jade Raymond says? What do you think, what's your expectations from her and her studio?
Yeah, thanks for putting it out there. I guess I'll start off with one just saying to our audience. Obviously, I think this is a little bit more niche of a topic than we normally get into. Jade Raymond has worked on mini games. Previously, she spent a long time at Ubisoft, worked on a lot of Assassin's Creed games, has done some other stuff. Her background is typically as a producer or kind of executive director. So she's not really a creative talent, or that at least that's not ever been her real job title, I think, in the games industry. So when I look for what she's doing and what she's going to accomplish, it's not like, oh, I think she has a great idea that she's going to be able to execute on. I think she's going to take the requirements that she gets from Sony and like what they're trying to fill out as a game and make sure that it happens. So in terms of just being able to like manage to deliver a product, like I think that's probably where she's going to shine. So everything that they're saying here to me seems like also maybe as a team they're very passionate about that, but to me that also just kind of signals why Sony's interested in them, and that they want Jade Raymond to deliver on this type of game so that they can fill it into their portfolio. So putting that context aside, the fact that there's a lot of Assassin's Creed talent that is still with Jade Raymond and with Haven Studio makes me wonder if we could get more of a game that heavily relies on parkour and navigation. And so when I hear social, rather than go the route of Dreams or something like that where you're having such huge variety of game types within it, I think the game type is going to be pretty stable, but it's going to be more of something like a Super Mario Maker, where within that game type, users are generating their own levels or stuff like that. So I think you could see something really cool, and I say this because I think it could be a cool game, something really cool in terms of like a Mirror's Edge Assassin's Creed type thing where players are generating these really intricate parkour levels, and maybe some of them are just straight like do it in this amount of time or have some like extra stipulations on it. But to me that seems like it could be a logical guess, could be a really cool game in there too. So that's kind of where I'm thinking and where I'm
I kind of
leaning.
agree with you on that, to be quite honest. Like when you think of a game like Roblox, it is a game, it's like Seinfeld. Seinfeld's a show about nothing. And Roblox is literally a game about nothing. Like there is GTA inside of Roblox. There is basketball inside of Roblox. There is literally Louis Vuitton merch inside of Roblox. Like, it is unbelievable. Now, is that exactly what's going to be happening with this? No, I think by this being something that's being backed heavily and it's owned by PlayStation, it's going to be a lot more fine edges, a lot more clean around this, the seams and that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be more put together. But I'm kind of liking what you're saying, Adam, in
Mhm.
regards to a social world that does allow for the ability to move around a lot and create things within it. I can see that happening. Now, it could be Haven Studios version of Fortnite, because you kind of see that a bit with Fortnite, where
Mhm.
it's it,
Yeah.
I think it's still Fortnite revolves around the battle royale, and then it breaks out outside of it. I don't know if they want to do everything inside of this Haven Studios game, and then there's just so happens to be a battle royale game. There just so happens to be a basketball game. There just so happens to be something like that. Austin, in regards
Yeah.
to games with social elements, user generated content. I mean, we know Roblox, dude. Roblox is on TikTok every single day, man. Is your thoughts on a game like that? Do you think even though we have Roblox, even though we have Fortnite, do you think we can still see a new game come in and try to get into that mix?
Yeah, I think we've seen bits and pieces of this concept, but they aren't truly, I guess, refined. They aren't beautiful, perfect,
Yeah.
creations, that are like this. It's so funny. The title that keeps coming up in my mind thinking of this, and this is just putting what they're saying in the most simple
Uh-huh.
terms ever, is Club Penguin. Because hear me out,
Oh,
all
nice,
right?
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, let me
Hear
hear it,
me
dude.
out. You're in this ice world, and you can literally spend hours just chatting people as a
Totally.
penguin, or you could go off and do Pizza Maker 3000 or the
Totally.
surfing game, or whatever. It's like it is definitely a mixture of standard games that we know, but also this social chat room aspect
Yeah.
as well, and where you can talk to people, and obviously there's not a ton, but there's some customization on your penguin. So like that's where my mind went
Mhm.
immediately. And then my mind went to when they mentioned like the whole social aspect, using it as a social platform. My mind thought of Facebook and the things that Facebook is doing with
Mm,
VR.
yeah.
There's the whole, they showed the whole expo or whatever of, gosh, Mark Zuckerberg, displaying these like Facebook meetings, and they're all their own characters that they
For
customize, but
real.
they're in a room virtually together. And I mean, that's maybe more so on the just chatting, meeting side. But so in my brain sort of just puts all of it together in this really beautiful world, sort of becoming this Ready Player One type game
Totally.
where you're in this world, and you are able to do whatever you want with
Totally.
the world, and you can create things for other users to experience, and you can do whatever you want, and you can be whatever you want to be, and there's opportunity everywhere for different types of games and stuff like that. So that's like a really broad way. It's a
No.
really broad, vague thing, but that's sort of where my brain is at when they talk about this, which is super
No, but
exciting.
what's so interesting about
Um,
that, dude, is if this was 3 years ago, I'd be like, no, that's crazy. That's not like we're thinking way too big here. But I think with where we're at now, it's 2021. The PlayStation 5 is booming. We have word from Jim Ryan, who's literally talking about the fact that he wants more and more millions of people getting their hands on PlayStation product. And then we see PlayStation go and acquire Nixus to be a porting house for PC games. So like we're thinking, like in my mind, we can originally be thinking, okay, this is a PlayStation studio. We're thinking PlayStation. But PlayStation right now, Jade Raymond, Haven Studios, they could be thinking this is PlayStation, but this is also a PC game at the same time. So how can we fully
mm,
utilize both of
Yeah.
them, both platforms that can actually take full advantage of this game? Social meetings, like Austin said, totally can make sense if the game is running on a PC. Like I can picture that being a thing where they're trying to work it out, and I mean, for all I know, I don't know exactly what the next iteration of a PS5 is going to look like, but we don't know if it's going to start leaning more so of being friendlier in regards to you can connect a mouse and keyboard and that kind of stuff, but they don't uh they don't advertise that all too much because they want you to buy the controllers and things like that. So I don't know what the future looks like for PlayStation, but I think the idea of it going very social and very user generated, it's very exciting. And I'm actually really excited to see
Yeah.
what they have in store, to be quite honest. So, anyone have any last words in regards to Jade Raymond and Haven Studios? Cool. Moving
No.
on to the next topic of the show, guys. We got Video Games Chronicle wrote an article. Konami recently came out and they discussed the fact that they want to. They are not that they want to. They are in the process right now of completely bringing back life to their to their franchises that they have. And rumors have been dropping, and people have been talking about what is going on with some of these franchises. So this comes by way of Video Games Chronicle. Remember, like I said, guys, the link to the article will be in the show notes. I'm going to start at the top. Konami is set to ramp up its premium game development with new installments and remakes for its biggest franchises, including Metal Gear and Castlevania. That's according to publishing sources who spoke to VGC anonymously because they did not have permission to discuss their projects publicly. Now, the first of these titles will be a new Castlevania game, which sources described as a, quote, reimagining of the series currently in development internally at Konami in Japan with support from local external studios. Now, there's been much speculation that Demon's Soul studio Bluepoint could be working on a remake for Metal Gear Solid. However, VGC was told the series is actually being worked by an external studio, Virtuos. Recently, it worked on Switch ports of Dark Souls Remastered, The Outer Worlds, and the BioShock Collection, as well as contributing art and content to blockbusters such as Battlefield 1, Uncharted 4, and Horizon Zero Dawn. The new project is currently in early development, and multiple sources suggested it would be centered around fan favorite entry Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, rather than the original Metal Gear Solid. Konami also intends to release remasters of the original Metal Gear games for modern consoles ahead of the larger project, we understand. Now, this is a sub link to another link within VGC because this comes from another article they wrote after they wrote this one. An employee at Chinese studio Virtuos has confirmed it's working on a, quote, unannounced AAA action adventure game remake, end quote, following VGC's report that it's been handed the Metal Gear Solid license. According to this description, the remake will feature AAA quality art, 4K graphics, and set piece destruction. Also makes reference to multiple platforms in the description. Oh, Lee is one of the directors for Virtuos. In his description on like LinkedIn, it references to multiple platforms in the description of the project. So to finish this all off, lastly, finally, multiple Silent Hill games are currently in development at various external development studios, as per an earlier VGC report from February. One of these projects was outsourced to a prominent Japanese developer earlier this year, we were told. That's the end. Now, there's a lot of stuff regarding Konami. I am a huge Konami fan. I love Metal Gear. Metal Gear is one of my favorite video games of all time. I'll start with this one. I know that there's been rumors about Bluepoint actually being the ones to remake Metal Gear Solid 1 for the longest time. And they've even leaned into that rumor like 3-4 years ago with a tweet that literally leaned into all the rumors that everyone thought they were working on something. So, but with the announcement of them being acquired by PlayStation, which was bound to happen, they talked on that article and in that interview that they want to create a new IP. Ever since that article, there's been a lot of people talking, and I believe Andy Robinson from VGC has even talked about it as well, that they're probably working on a Bloodborne remake. So, in regards to them working on new IP, Bloodborne is a new IP. If they go the route of remaking Bloodborne 1 and then announcing a Bloodborne 2 to go after that. So I'm fully kind of off the idea that Bluepoint is not making Metal Gear. The idea that Chinese developer Virtuos is making it makes a lot of sense. This is a huge studio. They've worked on a lot of games. They have a lot of people. It kind of makes sense because I don't think Konami will want to outsource Metal Gear as a whole to a huge studio. The only reason why I think Virtuos makes a lot of sense is because Virtuos, with it being a humongous studio, can literally start working on porting all the original games onto modern consoles now, while a bigger team is working on the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. I've been seeing a lot of people around the internet being like, why would you choose Metal Gear Solid 3? Why would you not start with the first one? Well, I kind of think it's a smart idea to start with Metal Gear Solid 3 because technically in the timeline of the games, Metal Gear Solid 3 is the first one. So I think it would be smart to just be like, this is Metal Gear Snake Eater. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Don't even call it 3. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Then after that, it's Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain, and then you go to Metal Gear Solid the original one. Don't get me excited, boys, because I'll go crazy on that. So there's that, and then there's also the Silent Hill stuff, which these are just people talking. Do not take this as if it's real because no one has ever even talked about this. But when you hear prominent Japanese developer, that's not Bloober Team because Bloober Team is not a prominent Japanese developer. I know that I forgot the name of the developer that worked on Until Dawn. Supermassive Games. They approached Konami about making a Silent Hill game. They got turned down. So a prominent developer, either that's like Capcom, Square Enix, Kojima Productions. I don't know, guys, but we'll have to wait and see. Adam, what are your thoughts on this whole talk and everything? Because this is not like official stuff. This is a source that has talked to VGC about it, and then they've come back and even talked about it in regards to working on a AAA action game for Virtuos, whatever. So
yeah, the rumor mill is always turning, Rob. It's let us down many times before on the Switch Pro, on some other stuff. Right? We don't have to get too deep into it.
Wait, we got the Switch Pro. It's the OLED.
The SWOLED.
Yeah. I love the SWOLED. I think it looks great. I can't buy one right now. Yeah, seriously. Imagine playing Kingdom Hearts 3 on the SWOLED.
Yeah, well, lags.
The SWOLED.
Well, but anyway, back to the point at hand. I don't know what to make of all of this. Whatever happens is going to happen. Whoever Konami decides to farm their games out to, good for Konami. That's great. They have some really awesome IP that people have a lot of love for. Getting more games in those franchises, assuming that they're good games, is a good thing. So, Virtuos.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Virtuos. I don't think in terms of like general gamer knowledge that probably a name that many people know of, but from what I hear, they work on everything. They do a lot of support work. And so, in that term, prominent, maybe that's a good definition. Or it's hard to know exactly when they say prominent, what exactly they're referring to. So I don't know. If you tell me that Metal Gear Solid 3 is a good place to start, I'll have to take your word for it because I haven't played any of them, and we'll just see what goes with that. As long as they're good games, I think something that people were maybe really excited in terms of Blue Point doing the remake is that Blue Point has done a phenomenal job doing very faithful remakes that look and perform phenomenally on the current gen hardware. Totally. Demon's Souls, they really did a good job, as far as I understand, in terms of respecting the original intent of Demon's Souls, the actual like 1-to-1 kind of design of it, and then just like nailing the feel and the visuals of the game. Like if you've played Demon's Souls, it feels really good to play, which is not true of most of the From Software games. They're in my opinion. So I don't know. Honestly, this whole news story, the thing that still sticks out to me the most is obviously just the Blue Point element of it. What does it mean that they're going to be focusing or aiming to work on original content going forward, right? That's not original IP. That's not new IP, original content. So likely, as you said, maybe that's Bloodborne 2. Maybe that's a Demon's Souls 2. Who knows? Maybe that's a Metal Gear Solid 6. Maybe they have been working on the MG1 remake and and Konami's like, actually, we're good with you doing this. That seems a little far-fetched to me. Just because the Sony-owned studio getting like their developer to work on the new MG game, MGS game, seems a little far-fetched, but who knows? Anything can happen. That's the point. Anything
I will give a quick
happen.
note in regards to Castlevania. I think it's interesting that Konami's going to be working on it as a reimagining. I think that series has been needing a reimagining for a while. they could continue the side scroll
Yeah.
nature of it. That would be cool. But what's interesting is that Konami, what they have right now in regards to an engine, is the Fox engine, which is the engine that Kojima created with Kojima Productions at Konami. He doesn't own it anymore because obviously he left. They own it. They utilize the Fox engine to make Metal Gear Solid Survive or Metal Gear Survive, FIFA even. So but they utilize the Fox engine, which is a very, very powerful, very good engine. Like, it is a really good engine. I can see Castlevania looking and playing really, really dope with that engine as a whole. Austin, do you have anything you want to add in regards to this whole Konami thing?
I'm honestly not really. I think the term reimagining is interesting. We hear remake, remastered,
Yeah.
all these terms, but reimagining is a new one for me
Totally.
personally. Does that mean they're going to completely change the perspective of the game, the structure, or is it going to be like a Metroid Dread thing where there's cool cinematic sequences, but it's still staying
Totally.
true to, I don't know. Castlevania is really the only IP that I'm super familiar with, because I haven't really owned PlayStation in
Yeah,
over a decade.
totally,
So,
totally.
but I think anyone who's a fan of these IPs should be really excited for the future. I think there's some really good things that are coming,
Totally.
and honestly, that's all I really have to
Yeah,
say
man.
about it.
All right, going on to our last topic of the day. This is the one you clicked on this video and you know we're talking about this. Okay, this comes straight by way
This is a
of the Hollywood Reporter. Squid Games quote video game in the works at Netflix ? We've been getting an overwhelming but happy volume of requests from the organization, from the consumer product department, from the gaming group, from our other international teams. My team's role is to really look at all those opportunities together to create that roadmap for the Squid Games IP. We're looking at multiple different areas from games, consumer product, and others to really figure out what we can bring to our audience to increase their affinity towards our content and give them more joy while staying true to the world that our creator has built. This comes from I'm trying to remember. This was somebody someone who worked at Netflix. I totally forgot to put their name who worked in it. But the article is in the show notes, so you guys can go check that out. Okay. We cannot deny if you are just a casual person who plays video games, if you're a casual person that just watches TV shows every once in a while, you're a casual person that goes on social media every once in a while, you know what Squid Games is because it is everywhere. It is overtaken the world. It has
Everywhere.
become the #1 watched show on Netflix ever to date. It is blowing up. I will say, and this is not a TV show movie podcast, Squid Games was amazing. I love that show. It was really, really good.
Yep.
Austin, I want to start with you. In regards to the idea of Squid
Yes.
Games, 1, have you watched the show? 2, are you aware of how crazy it is overtaking pop culture as a whole? And 3, is it a smart idea for Netflix to make a Squid Games video game?
Here's the
All right, give
thing.
it to me. Give it
All
to me.
right. I've seen it. Yes, and it is everyone. Well, there's a reason that it is blowing
totally.
up because it is genuinely an incredible
Yes.
show. I will also say this before someone in the comments. It is Squid Game singular.
Oh, thank you.
Squid Game,
Thank you.
not plural. It's
But
not.
if it's Squid Games game,
There you go,
got us
Adam.
there, man.
He got me there.
That commenter literally just deleted that comment. You got him.
Okay.
and unsubscribed.
Yeah, and unsubscribe. No, Squid Game was incredible. It is an incredible, incredible show. Really had me on the edge of my seat. I can understand why people, creators, directors, CEOs are wanting to profit off of the IP, off of the title, because it's the biggest show on
Yes.
Netflix. However, I don't want a game to take away from the magic that they created, that studio
Mhm.
created in the show. I don't want them to strip them of that. I think playing a video game there's a really good chance that it could like
Oversaturated.
take away the oversaturate it. It could take away the mystery, could take away, a lot from an incredible show. And that's my fear, honestly. I don't right now, I don't want a Squid Game video game because Squid Game wasn't just, oh, these fun games. Like it was so much more than, I mean, these are people's
Totally.
lives. These are people. There's so much more to the show than just the game aspect. And hearing about people wanting to create a video game based off of this incredible story, it upsets me, honestly. It upsets me. And I am not one who's easily upset.
You're
I am an Enneagram
enraged.
9. I'm a Pisces. I'm a peacemaker. But I don't like this idea. Do not make Squid Game a video game, especially Netflix, who has barely even created any video games. Stranger Things video game, I mean, like, I guess I get, but like, leave Squid Game alone, please.
Adam, do you have anything?
Those are my thoughts.
Do you have anything to add to this conversation regarding Squid Game on Netflix?
I have not watched Squid Game
You were being
yet.
kicked?
I do believe that I'm going to.
Good.
And there's a lot going on, man. Come on. But it's an interesting thing to talk about in terms of the film to game adaptation. Obviously Netflix has made, I think, more than one Stranger Things game
Correct.
at this point, and it's like, even though I think those games have kind of been like mediocre, it's like that hasn't detracted from Stranger Things at all.
Very true.
I don't know if it would work the same way with Squid Game, but then there is the potential that they do actually make something very special. That's awesome too.
Mhm.
Even if it's bad, I don't think it'll take away from the hype train that it has going for itself right now. It honestly probably is just like we might lose the development time and development costs, but it's not going to affect the Squid Game as a IP if it's bad. But if it's good, then hey, it's good, and Netflix made a good game.
That's a good point. I mean, my thing is this, and I think what's going on here is the fact that I think Netflix is in a place where video games is their future. Like, and I don't mean their definitive future. They are kicking it out of this park with content. Like, I watched Midnight Mass and Squid Game back to back. Netflix original.
Are you okay?
Dude, don't even get me started on that show. I love that show.
What a combo.
Yeah, for real, right? So that was 2 Netflix content. Phenomenal content. Took over social media, both of them. Like, they're doing a great job, and they want to continue that momentum. And we just saw with them acquire Night School Studios, the people behind Oxenfree, and they acquired them because they're going to start making games for Netflix on their Netflix platform because Netflix is getting into games. I think what we're going to see is a new level of movie to video game happening on the streaming service side, as they probably start trying to figure out what they want to do with video games. And I can picture it being Netflix starting it off. Now, when I saw after this show came out, XQC, a big Twitch streamer, out there playing Red Light, Green Light from Squid Game on Roblox, that was a moment when I was like, Netflix needs to get on top of this as fast as possible, because that was taking Roblox, the traffic that they got because somebody made Red Light, Green Light in that game with the same sound effects, with the same gunshot noise, with all that going on. And yes, it is janky as all heck, but everybody was on there. I think the fact that it grabbed all that attention, Netflix wants to do something like that. Now, I don't know how far they can go with this, to be quite honest. The only reason why is because the creator of Squid Game, he's even said himself, on the next season, I don't want it to focus on the players. I want to focus on something else. So what does that even mean? I mean, I'm not going to go into detail here because I don't want to spoil anything, but that can mean something totally different that Netflix may not even want. And so the idea of them going and wanting to do something like this seems like a good idea. In my opinion, Roblox is getting ahead of it. I can tell you right now, with how Epic Games works and how fast they turn things around, I can picture Fortnite doing something like this as a mode really, really soon. When we saw Among Us start blowing up, what did Epic Games do within a couple months afterwards? The imposter mode came out. And then it's the exact same thing as that game. but in Fortnite. So I can picture things starting to ramp up quickly. Could Netflix be like, Fortnite, we'll cut a deal with you. Let's make a Squid Game in Fortnite. Let's go that route. I could see that happening. But for them to own it themselves, I don't know. That seems like a good idea on my part. And I can picture this happening more and more down the line. I don't picture them making a Midnight Mass game. Like, that doesn't make sense. But when I can picture something like Squid Game, I can picture something like Too Hot to Handle, like a boyfriend girlfriend simulator in the future. Like, well, I can picture them going into that realm. But I think when they acquire a studio like Night School Studios, they are getting serious. And I think we're going to probably start seeing them make and do some more acquisitions and make some more serious games coming forward. So it is exciting overall. It is exciting. Do we have anything else that we want to add in regards to Netflix and Squid Games? Cool. We are at the hour and 1 minute mark. Real quick, just top level, guys, so we can end this off. I want to know real fast what you guys been playing real quick. I'll go first. Been playing some Death Stranding on the PS5. The game is just absolutely stunning. I sent a picture to Adam the other day, and I was just walking, and then it was just the scene. The music was playing right. The scene was right. I had to stop, take a picture, and I was like, this game is so beautiful. And so I've been enjoying Death Stranding again on the PS5. I ran into somebody because you can find these random people that are throughout the world. And I ran into somebody. And I was like, I totally forgot you were in this game. And I can't wait for you to get to that point, Adam, because there's random people that you can run into that are actually famous people in this, in our world that are just in the game. That Kojima asked, can we scan you into the game and put you there? It's not your voice. This one guy, though, it is his voice. Like, I'm surprised he did it. So I can't wait for you to get to that point, Adam. You would know because his name is going to be the cosplayer. That's his code name. So, other than that, I've been playing Back for Blood. I played about 3 hours yesterday. It's fun. I mean, there's like an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 kind of thing that you can go with friends. But other than that, there's like, I forgot what it's called, Havoc mode or something like that, where it's 4v4. So you have four or five cleaners. You're the people, and then you have 4 or 5 of the people who are those zombies fighting you. I didn't find that fun whatsoever. And I kind of wish there was more modes in the game. But I thought the game was fun. I thought it's creative. I like the fact that everyone's talking. Like, I was playing this older lady that was just called Mom. And everyone would be calling you like, Mom, hey, Mom, Mom. Like, the voice acting in the game is so well done that they're calling each other and talking with each other. And if you shoot somebody by accident, they'd be like, hey, watch where you're shooting, Mom, or like, things like that. So it's a great game. Back for Blood on Game Pass and other platforms as well, but it's on Game Pass. So check it out if you have an Xbox console. Austin, I want to throw it on to you, man. What you been playing?
I have been playing Stadia a couple months ago released Control for $40. And I was like, okay, like, would have been great if it was free, but okay. And I technically actually own the game already. I got it for free on Epic Games, so it's installed on my computer, and I got to a certain point, and I didn't get much further. But for the month of October, Control was free for Pro subscribers on Stadia. So I immediately claimed Control, and I guess technically it's not free because you're subscribed to the Pro. Yeah, whatever.
You got it included with your membership.
Included with the Pro membership, you can play Control for free. So I've been playing that, and I haven't gotten to the point where I stopped on PC, but I wanted to play through it on Stadia because I'm able to play it in my living room or on my phone or whatever. And it's just a great game. I really, really like it. I like the mechanics. I like third-person shooters, and the story's really interesting, and I'm just confused the entire time. I don't know what's going on.
I love that you're liking it. I love that you're liking it.
It's well acted. I like the protagonist. I forget her name, but she's doing a great job. It's really weird because they flip in between like the animated people, but then like some cutscenes are real people, and it's like
off-putting.
This is messing with my head. Yeah. So Control's great. I have been having a stressful week, so I've been resorting to my comfort game, which is Jedi Fallen Order.
As you should.
I'm on my Jedi Master playthrough, and
Okay.
I'm almost
Nice.
done. I'm getting there. And it's been really fun. I love that game
Sweet.
so much. And then another game that I started on mobile, actually, and this is in light of the remake of KOTOR that's coming to PS5, is I've been playing Knights of the Old Republic which is available on the App Store for like $7 or
Sweet.
something, or $10. I can't remember, but I've been playing that on my phone with with the Backbone controller attached, and it's good. I really do. I'm understanding why it was such an incredibly huge game for its time. Like it aged well. Combat system, isn't perfect. It's kind of weird, but I've kind of got the hang of it. I'm actually currently stuck in this game. Like I'm stuck in this game. There is a specific like boss that I just can't beat, and I'm out of money, and I don't know what to do because I don't know how to level. I don't know what to do. And so I'm kind of stuck in KOTOR right now, Knights of the Old Republic, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Adam, let's throw it out to you, man. What you been playing?
First of all, I have to ask, Austin, do you just wait until a remake is announced to dive into the original?
Yes, that's exactly
Because
right.
I feel like that's what you did when the Skywalker saga Lego Star Wars got its announcement day. You're like, oh, time to jump back into the original on the iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Lego Star Wars I had played before, but
sure.
But yeah, when they announced that, I'm like, okay, well, I need to be versed in this, and I need to be versed in this game. I want to play the original before I play the remake.
Yeah.
Nice.
Especially
I don't do that, but I can appreciate it for sure. Yeah. But anyway, I guess in terms of what I've been playing, I beat Spider-Man on PlayStation 2018. Dude. Phenomenal. I did do the platinum, was not that difficult as far as platinums go. So, and I just enjoyed it. I had lots of really random bugs at the end when I was trying to clean up trophies, where I'm having to do the Sable faction crimes. And these little air trooper guys kept spawning inside of buildings, and it would just made it take so much longer to clean up all the faction crimes for them because those stupid Sable air trooper people were getting trapped, and I couldn't do anything. I have so many videos of those bugs, and I'll have to share some with you someday. But phenomenal game. I know there was it's a little iffy in the final like part of Act 3, but like it's very small complaints. It's a wonderful game. I'm excited to play the Miles Morales, and then of course whenever Spider-Man 2 comes out, very excited for those games. Yeah, for sure. I also been playing Morcana. I'm getting very close to the end, and I think I might be crazy enough to go for the platinum on that one too, which requires a whole nother playthrough on the hardest difficulty.
A madman.
So we'll see how. I mean, it's a short enough game and I'm already playing on the second highest difficulty. You have to play the game through once first to unlock that highest difficulty. I'm already doing well enough that I'm like, if I don't do the completionist run second time through because I don't have to, or I have all those trophies, that I enjoy this game enough to go for it. So I'll keep you updated on how that goes. And then I've also been playing, let me remind myself what it was, Death Stranding. So I started that. I'm only a couple hours in, so I've done I did the prologue and chapter 1.
Tell me you like it,
and that's about how far I am. There are moments that I really enjoy. Okay. There are moments I really enjoy when you're kind of, the camera zooms out and you start getting like the radio music fade in. Those moments hit really great. They're very cinematic and very cool. I haven't decided how I feel about the moment to moment
Okay.
gameplay yet. There is some zen to it that I enjoy. I do not enjoy the BT sections
No, they're
yet.
not fun.
I know the game is going to equip me more as things go on, and I'll be able to do cool things with navigation in terms of like ropes and bridges and all that fun stuff, and having more luggage and cargo to try to balance. I know that will make things more
Totally.
interesting than what they currently are. So jury's out for me, but I'll
Totally.
let you know.
Sweet. Cool. Well, that's the XP podcast for you guys. Level 20. Thanks for listening and watching. We really appreciate it. If you're
Mhm.
watching the show on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and in the comments down below, let us know what you think about any of the topics that we talked about today. And if you're listening on podcast feeds, well, remember, you can talk to us on Twitter at Ambitious Casual or email us at xppodcast@ambitiouscasual.com. All of our social media links will be in the show notes below. And hey, I also have a movie podcast that I'm doing. It is called Press Play. Me and my friend Michael, we are on that podcast talking about movies, and we just did a review on Venom: Let There Be Carnage, and that's a doozy. So if you're interested in listening to what we had to say about that one, go check it out. It's on Press Play. You can find that on Spotify, and then we have links on the Ambitious Casual Twitter page as well. So, Adam, Austin, thanks for joining me today. Until next time.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Thank you.
See
Bye.
ya.